Hey folks, it's Jim for the Rewind, here to review Me and Orson Welles, directed by one of the most underrated filmmakers, Richard Linklater. The film is set in New York, 1937, where naive but ambitious 17-year-old Richard Samuels, played by Zac Efron, meets theater director and soon-to-be legendary filmmaker Orson Welles. Welles offers him an acting job in Julius Caesar, Broadway's first Shakespeare production, at the Mercury Theater. However, eventually Richard finds himself fighting with his mentor over the production assistant Sonia Jones, played by Claire Danes. I've always been meaning to get around to this film, and I'm glad that I did. Me and Orson Welles is a charming little coming-of-age story. I wouldn't watch it expecting a recreation of 1930s New York with a budget of $25 million, but Linklater makes sure that the film is convincing enough, with most of the picture taking place within the theater. You may be asking, how's Efron in it? Surprisingly, he's not bad. Sure, he's a wide-eyed optimist, but he lacks that gee-whiz Disney spirit that could have grown annoying. He's also not completely out of place as much as I thought he would be in the 1930s. His arc is familiar but uncommercial, considering the ending. This isn't to say that the flick is a downer, but Richard comes out of this experience on stage a little wiser. He's also given substantial chemistry with Claire Danes, and one of her better film roles as Sonia, who aspires to greater things and to work with producer David O. Selznick, who would go on to produce Gone with the Wind. There's some terrific supporting performances by Eddie Marsden as John Houseman, the theater owner, James Tooper as an actor and ladies' man Joseph Cotton, and Ben Chaplin as George Colorius, a professional actor who disapproves of Orson's methods, as does the entire cast and crew. However, the film belongs to Christian McKay as Orson Welles. McKay, who had played Welles before in a one-man show on stage, was cast for his precise performance. He's a bit too old for the role, considering Welles was only 22 at the time, but he captures Welles' public persona and complexities such as his intelligence, pain, charisma, and ego that at times overshadowed it. Perhaps if the film was better marketed, McKay would have received a Best Supporting Actor nomination. As a side note, I have to say how ridiculously accomplished Welles was at his age. I mean, the guy directed what many consider to be the greatest film of all time at 26 after a difficult childhood. Anyway, Me and Orson Welles probably won't be for everyone despite the casting of Zac Efron. Theater fans will love it, along with anyone who has any mild interest in the personality that is Orson Welles. It's a refreshing flick in how we see through Richard's eyes the influential director rather than making a generic biopic. This plot device doesn't always work, but here it does. That's it for the Movie Rewind. Have a good day, folks. Until next time.